Welcome.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us again on this latest episode of See You Next Thursday. We thought that today we're just going to get to skim it because it's such a big topic, but we have woven into, it seems like every single one of the last episodes that we've done, meditation seems to have come up. So we thought that we would toss that topic out there and talk about it a little bit.
It's one of our practices.
It's one of my most favorite practices.
So just sharing some tools that help us to navigate this life, our life, and finding ways to bring calmness into an otherwise perhaps not calm day, and to bring calmness to our central nervous system and to help balance and kind of neutralize the monkey mind. And it's just a practice that some days we do it for longer than others, and it's just one of those things that has become a non-negotiable, and we do it either in the beginning of the day or the end of the day.
Or sometimes both.
Depending on the groove that we're in. Sometimes fall off from the longer practice, but as long as we get in just a couple minutes at least, that's something. And you can start with 3-minute meditations. You can build them up. You can go for 15. You can take them up to an hour. Whatever works for you. Just wanted to encourage giving it a try. I'm sure that many of you do meditate on some level. I think we're unconsciously meditating all the time when we're driving,
well, like
walking.
what do you mean when you say that we're unconsciously meditating all the time? What do you say?
I find myself feeling like I'm in a meditative state when I'm preparing food, when I'm stepping outside, when I probably shouldn't be doing it when I'm driving, but it does happen.
Where all of a sudden you get to some place and you just got there and you're like, how did I get here?
How did I get here?
Because I wasn't even present for the drive here.
I don't have an autopilot Tesla. So it's just a really helpful tool that we use, having been yoga practitioners for decades and moving through so many different styles of yoga. Meditation was not something that was always taught by the different teachers.
I get that too. It's like I don't know, for me personally, when I first started into yoga, I was coming from gyms and running. And so if I had gone into a yoga class where it was about meditation, I probably would have gotten up and left because that's not what I thought I was going for. I thought I was going for that stimulus, that physical kind of workout, sweating, you know what I mean? And I have to even admit that even like the tuning in, like the oming and stuff like that was really weird to me at first. But then I grew to love it. And I had a particular teacher in Portland, actually, that really, it's where everything just kind of began to gel and resonate for me. And I began to open up more to mantra, because there's so many different ways that you can meditate. You can chant a mantra. You can do breath work. You can do transcendental meditation. You could do a walking meditation. You could be like, often for me, if I've got to get up and get going in the morning and I don't have time to sit down to an actual practice, I may lay there in bed. I try to do it in a corpse pose or with my hand on my heart and one hand on my stomach. And I'll either do some form of breath work, like say the quantum that you love, where I'll breathe into the count of 5 and exhale to the count of 5, and just do that for maybe 15 minutes while I'm lying in bed, just to set myself up for the rest of the day, because it's just this complete stilling of my mind.
And there's thousands and thousands and thousands of meditations and so many different people sharing meditations that if you're not looking for a spiritual angle, there's so many ways to approach it where it just feels almost like platonic.
Platonic
meditation.
Like a walking meditation?
Yeah, just sitting in a chair.
Oh yeah, you can be seated in a chair. You just need to be sure that your feet are firmly placed on the ground and go from there.
And with YouTube and the World Wide Web,
yeah,
it's pretty amazing to see how much information is out there to help you to embrace new practices that uplift your well-being and kind of round out the hard edges, or soften the hard edges, I guess.
Yeah, I would say that's what that's one of the major things that it's done for me, is just softened everything out. Just not as tense about everything, and always remembering too that everything's always working out for me. Just these little affirmations along with the meditation.
Yeah, when I'm in meditation, I mean, the idea is to embrace stillness. However, I really feel a connection to my inner being, and my inner being, my higher self, my true companion in life.
Your gut instincts, the things that
is always
inner voice that tells you things sometimes, like don't go that direction.
Yeah, always has my best interest at heart, always looking out for me, always viewing me in my most
in the highest
shiniest,
form.
non-judgmental way. And I had that opportunity to commune with self, really, and with all things higher, I like to think. And it's very comforting for me. It gives me an opportunity to kind of collect all parts of myself and hold space. And and so that's why it's just like the food piece and the physical movement, whether it's yoga or something else that
I mean, lately we've also been in the gym, which is blowing my mind, but
lifting weights,
just trying to get stronger.
So that we have that proper balance and stability and foundation.
Muscle tone.
As we get older, just needed to kickstart a new routine. And so lifting, staying mobile, staying active. But so the meditation, the food piece, the exercise, they all work together for us.
The meditation kind of goes along with like our self-talk and stuff too. It just, once we start to realize that every single thing that comes out of our mouth is creating the reality around us, it's creating our personal world. It's just, the meditation has really helped me to get better with the way that I speak about myself to myself, or how I'm projecting what I'm thinking about myself out to the world, which we've talked about as well. It's really, really important,
or to at least then have more of an awareness beyond the way that we're speaking about ourselves.
So we can quickly autocorrect, just like, okay, so I said I was lame. I'm not really lame, but you know what I mean? Just like, okay, that came out, just quickly autocorrect and don't do it again. Or catch yourself quicker so it doesn't come out the next time. The meditation has really helped me with that kind of my self-narrative.
The words that you speak become the house that you live in.
Rumi.
So just wanted to skim the surface of meditation and how it's been helpful for us, how it's helped us to stay grounded, which is always very challenging for me because I tend to float up like I've got a bunch of balloons in my hand and I'm floating up off into who knows where. And Willa's very grounded. And
which can be a bummer sometimes. Sometimes it feels like for somebody who's up in the clouds, somebody who's really grounded is like
she's gonna throw some darts at my balloons.
No, I'm not gonna throw darts at your balloons. I'm just gonna grab you by the foot and pull you down just a little bit. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna
throw darts at your balloons. That's wicked, But just but at the same time, it's like that kind of that for somebody who's like toiling up here, that can feel heavy. Like I'm a heavier person than she is. So, and that may very well be.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah, I'm just a super practical Capricorn, like super practical.
And I'm not practical.
No.
However, I do find meditation to be a practical resource. I can see things that are practical. It doesn't mean I'm practical. I'm not practical. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. Oh, but I do.
What was that?
So it's just been something that we practice regularly. It's been a game changer. If there's nothing else we can do in a day, we'll find time to do that.
Yeah.
because you can even lie in bed at night and do it and set an intention for your sleep and the next day.
Something else I was just reading that was really powerful, and I've read this before, but somehow this person, this really young person, it just resonated. She was saying that it's really important, and I think we talked about this last time when we were talking around beliefs, that when we go to bed, because we're in that state of mind that is, we're entering into the alpha state where our subconscious is more open to being seeded with powerful, positive ideas that will begin to transform our lives. As we go to bed at night, that we just, in our minds, quietly say out loud, or in our minds, set the intentions for the following day to come. You know, like maybe tomorrow's going to be the most amazing day ever, or everything is always working out for me. Or,
and it's the same as when you're meditating too.
It's
kind of the same state.
It is the same state.
To drop into the same.
You're dropping into that alpha state, those alpha brain waves where the subconscious mind, which is the part of us
seeding the soul.
That's where we change. We don't change in this conscious mind. This conscious mind is too full. It's a monkey mind. It's constantly going. It's our subconscious mind that begins to shift us into these new directions and new storylines that are more powerful, more positive, and are going to draw to us what it is we want, so we don't have to constantly be running around with our heads cut off chasing things or efforting too hard. You're attracting it. You're just building up this radiance, this aura, this electromagnetic field that surrounds each and every one of us. We're building that up, and meditation is a really, really powerful form of a practice to do this.
Your aura and your radiance, it's an energetic field that surrounds you, and
all of us have it.
Vibrates out, and some are brighter than others, and some are darker than others, and those that are brighter we always gravitate towards, or people gravitate towards us.
Everybody gravitates towards lightness. Everybody does. We can't help it. We're all drawn to it, just like we're all drawn to beauty, just like we're all drawn to yummy smells.
It's like a magnet.
It's a magnet. Mm-hmm. And so meditation is one of these forms of practice that can get us there more quickly. And really, it's like the cool thing that we found with Kundalini, which I hadn't done this at all with any other practice. It's like usually you just sit there, you sit with your hands in some sort of mudra, like these fingers are together, or these fingers are together, or you're sitting like this, whatever the mudra is. You're just usually seated in a cross-legged or whatever's comfortable form, and you just have your eyes closed and you're being quiet. In the Kundalini stuff, there was more of these active sorts of meditations that for whatever reason dropped me in faster. And I could do it for longer because...
Where the breath work is really, there's a practice to it, or you're doing some kind of
pumping of your stomach, like breath of fire, where you're
some kind
like
of
pumping
movement that's along with the meditation.
Or chanting, which also will get you there really quickly. So, I mean, I know sometimes for some people that sounds really weird. And honestly, for me, like I said earlier, when we first stepped into yoga, the oming and stuff like that was really weird to me. Now it's just part of the practice, you know? And so often these chants that you'll be doing, they're in Sanskrit, in this old language. And you half the time don't even know what you're saying. But it's always something light. It's always something bigger. It's always something greater and expansive.
And we'll do long stretches of different meditations, sometimes 30 days, 90 days, 120 days. And legit, we'll see benefits when we stick to the meditation.
And like I said before, it's
not just physical benefits, as if things appear out of thin air.
Yeah. I mean... I'm just going to say this. At one point when we first started, we were doing, I think we had just finished 40 days of the Subha Kriya, and it was so crazy. Out of the blue, a really large check came in the mail, not something I was expecting, not something that was owed to me. It was just somebody who was thinking about me, who knew that I needed some help, helped me.
It was just a reminder that you're protected and everything's working out for you, and not to say that the same scenario doesn't happen for everybody. It's just that abundance is real. There's not
a limited amount of it.
And somebody having
big.
a lot doesn't ever limit you from
having a lot too.
The same or more. There's infinite amounts of abundance for everyone.
So cool.
That's kind of fun to know. To think about.
I mean, one time when we first started, and this was before we ever did any of the Kundalini stuff, this was just coming. It was called Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. It's a
Sanskrit.
That's Sanskrit, but it's a Ganesha mantra. So Ganesha is a deity is a Hindu deity who's all about abundance.
We loved that one.
Yeah, we loved it. And this friend of ours had given us this mantra to do because we both felt really blocked, and we were just starting our Pixie Retreat business, and we'd just gone into this shared commercial space.
It's the remover of obstacles.
It's the remover of obstacles and the bringer of abundance. And anyway, we did this mantra. We did it literally, I swear to you, on the 40th day of doing this. We walked into this shared commissary commercial kitchen that we were working in, and the person who was running it was bored that day. Literally, he sat down, made a wholesale list for us, and we got our very first wholesale account for our food business, and it just blossomed from there. It was crazy, but I completely connect that mantra and that time frame to, and all the flowers that came out of it, I totally connect it to that mantra that we did for 40 days. It was that had me hooked. We were hooked at that point.
The Ganesha.
The Ganesha mantra.
Yeah.
So cool.
We've studied many different limbs of yoga, and we're talking about meditation right now.
Which is the highest. Meditation is the top. So an asana, the practice of physically moving in yoga. So going and doing like a vinyasa flow class or a hatha or yin or whatever restorative, whatever it is you're doing. All of that yoga is basically to get us ready and quiet and still to step into meditation, which is it's the highest form. It's the top limb of yoga. Numero uno. Numero, not umero. Numero uno is meditation.
I just had a really cool vision.
You did? What is it?
I just meditated for a second.
Okay.
So
you just meditated for a second?
Yeah, my mind
just
goes
there?
off into daydream/meditation realm. So I'm sitting in lotus. My feet are up. You can't see both of them, but this is how I like to sit. Anyway, I'm sitting
I can't
here.
sit that way.
I'm sitting here. Feels really good. And then I reach such a state that is so crazy. I'm holding my form, and then my body starts spinning like this, and I shoot up off into the sky, and I'm gone.
What?
Yeah. So it's really nice knowing you.
Oh my God.
That was my vision.
Okay, that was really nice.
And it felt
and
good.
random. And I'm happy for you. That's good that felt good.
Yeah.
Meditation feels good.
Because then when I'm up there, I don't have any worries.
Really?
Nope.
That's cool.
Yeah. When I'm in the quantum, there's no worries about anything. So that's where I like to go.
I just like how I feel afterwards. I like how blissed out I feel. I like that I feel calm and
Bountiful,
easy.
blissful, beautiful. Right?
Sure. I think it's beautiful, beautiful, bountiful. No, beautiful, blissful, bountiful. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. All those feelings come from meditation. And so it's so worthwhile. I mean, even my parents who are now in their 70s started meditating last year. We took a course with them on, it was a mindset reset. And it was so cool that the crux of all of it was meditation. It was it was the crux of all of it, that and keeping gratitude journals and really trying to get in front of and quickly auto-correcting when we put ourselves down or we project something out that isn't really who we believe we are. When we're dumbing it down, it's like, it was just interesting. The core of it was meditation. And so it's just a powerful practice, and literally 3 minutes a day can change your life.
So let us know how you love to meditate, or what is your practice, or who's your person that's turned you on, that has changed your life in this way, or what's your style, or whatever.
Or if you're looking for some guidance, like if you want to ask, like, who do you use, or what were your first, your first people that lured you into or helped you to walk through this new door. I hate to use the word lure because it's so
Creepy.
It has a creepy vibe to it, but that person that opened the door and
Lord.
and like welcomed you in. That's better.
Please
I think.
share.
Yeah. Anyway, if you liked this video, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button and subscribe. And thanks for joining us today on this topic that is so precious to both of us. It's precious. I will never go another day in my life without spending at least 3 minutes of time. It's nourishment for my mind, for my body, and my soul. And I highly, highly, highly suggest that if you are sitting in a place where you want to move through a new door that leads you to a new, super exciting piece of yourself, this is the ticket. Meditation is the ticket.
Get you some.
Get you some med.
See you next Thursday.
See you next Thursday.